I'd encourage everybody now more than ever, every single week, get your fingers dirty on the data of what's actually happening in your local market. It's a local business. This is Byron Lazine and Nicole White, and you are tuned into episode 139 of The Real Word.
Word is up.
I love this question we are leading off with for racket number one.
Let's do it.
All right.
Good old Inman.
Patrick Kern, staff writer, Inman, posed what I believe is a serious question, a conversation we should be having in the real estate industry as eyes are and continue to be upon us. Should agents be forced to disclose referral fees to consumers? A new analysis by the Consumer Federation of America determined that 51%, so basically half of consumers, believe referral fees are unfair if they are not disclosed. Nicole, your quick take, your 2 cents. What are your thoughts?
I feel like I have so many questions because so in the article, it's talking about these referral fees.
Yeah, do you want me to read the quote here from Stephen
Please.
Brobeck,
Yep.
a CFA senior fellow and the report's author?
Yep.
Referral fees are hidden from consumers, yet reinforce high commission rates and provide an incentive for agents and the agencies to make referrals only to agents willing to pay the highest fees. So that's the take there. At the very least, agents should be required to disclose these fees effectively to the consumers who end up paying them. So there's a couple different things going on here, Nicole. Let's break it down from really 2 different angles.
Right.
One is you're, say, an agent here in Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm down in Florida, and I say, hey, Nicole, I've got somebody wanting to buy a summer house in Connecticut.
Yes.
They're my clients. You're a great agent. I've been following you on Instagram forever. You're amazing.
I have these conversations every day.
Wouldn't want to send to anybody,
nobody else,
my clients, other than you. So can you help them find their summer home?
Of course.
Say yes.
Yep.
And then you say to me, what do you want for a referral fee?
Well, I'll say I don't typically ask, to be honest.
You just assume it's the standard 25%?
Yeah, I'm like, hey, send me over your referral form. I'll be happy to sign it.
Or you're happy to sign whether they're maybe even at 30. You'd be happy to take the new lead. So you get this referral. We come up with some type of referral fee because I'm licensed in Florida and you're licensed in Connecticut. We do a referral. We pass off the clients. Really, a lot of times, too, it can be the fact that my client said something to me because maybe I've been their trusted advisor for years or decades.
Hey, do you know someone? Can you find me someone? Can you interview people?
I know you're very connected throughout the industry. And so, boom, go ahead and make that referral. Now, the consumer in that instance may not realize that I gave you this recommendation, them the recommendation to work with you, that I'm actually getting compensated on that recommendation. They may or may not realize without the disclosure. So there's that one. The other whole part of this, and they do reference it in here, is the fact that when you as a consumer call Zillow, and you get connected with an agent, and a lot of these markets, the flex markets, you are now basically okaying by you using Zillow, the consumer, that there is going to be a referral fee paid if you transact with that agent, because that agent is obligated by their contract to send Zillow now a referral fee. So it's kind of 2 different ways. Ultimately, the question is, should the consumer know that there's compensation being traded back and forth?
Well, again, I mean, there's so many situations here, so I feel like there's so many different scenarios, because in my mind, I would like to think that your client that is in Florida and asking for your help, they would probably love the idea that you were getting paid to help them.
Yeah, certainly.
I would
that
want.
Is, and listen,
I'm so sorry, like, that I'm going up here. Like, is there any way that, like, this can work for you?
I've been in situations where the consumer has said, "Hey, I work with so and so in another state. and I really like you, I want to work with you, but I want to make sure that because they took that phone call with you, I want to make sure they get something out of this. I've heard that from consumers.
Of course.
Or vice versa, right? Where they're saying, hey, I want to make sure Byron gets something out of this, some type of referral.
Because I feel like if a lot more clients knew that even family, for instance, I feel like if a lot of family members, agents' family members knew that you could actually generate a referral fee if you helped them even where they lived, I feel like maybe more would actually then utilize that. No? That's how I feel.
Right.
But I guess we're talking, in my mind right now, we're really strictly talking about a buyer side, because this thing about continuing to drive up commissions, I don't feel like is wildly true on a buyer side, because you are 100% getting paid based on whatever it is that listing agent is offering out.
Yeah, basically they're going with... that this is raising commissions. This is not, because this is a smaller portion. Yeah. Well, here's the thing though. Here's what's interesting. It is a smaller portion historically of deals where there's a referral fee. Going forward, Nicole, with Zillow, Flex, and some of these things, the referral fee is going to become like attached to almost every buy-side commission going forward in this industry. So you could argue that because of what's happening with that landscape, not just Zillow, let's be fair here and say everybody, OpCity and Realtor and all these different places that are doing the referral platform now, they're keeping those commissions high because there's really no margin there after for the broker, the team, the agent, the marketing department, X, Y, and Z. All that comes out of it. So it will keep the commissions higher. And obviously there's a huge class action lawsuit of why commissions are set at a certain thing. That's a whole another conversation. But just yes or no, should consumers get this disclosure?
I guess I don't see why not.
Yeah, I don't see why not either.
I have no problem telling anybody. I have no, why not? Really?
Exactly.
There's nothing to hide.
And here's the thing, if you're truly adding value in your referral, so if you're an agent referring to another agent, are you actually sending them to the best person? There are like referral groups out there that make you just send to people within their group. That to me
like
is
those
not,
BNIs.
There's a lot of different examples.
Yeah. I don't know that BNI requires any sort of referral fee though.
They're just
want
requiring
you
to refer. I'm not talking about BNI. I'm talking about national and global things in real estate where they require you to become a member of this thing, and then referrals can only happen within those particular groups and companies. That's not what's doing best for your client. What's doing best for your client is saying, I'm going to refer you to the best in this market because she does X, Y, and Z great. It fits into your goals. I know your goals intimately, and this fits into it. Now, I do think anytime, like in the banking industry, anytime somebody's being compensated for something in our industry and a consumer is involved, there should be disclosure around that. Before we ever sign a listing at one company, we are having them, here's the commission, here's what we're paying the other side, and here's any other fees associated. Being very clear on what that seller is paying. I think same thing here for the referral fees. The consumer should understand. And again, most of the time, if you're providing great service, if you're being somebody who's educating your client consumer, they're going to be fine with that.
Well, especially I think you have to explain it properly though too. Because I can see like a buyer being like, well, does that mean I have to now pay you? Does that mean that I'm paying more? Does that I think you obviously have to be very good in your lingo with explaining it if you are going to be disclosing it. It is interesting though, because I do feel like there have been a few times where we've been negotiating on a contract or even like inspection items, and I've heard an agent be like, I can't negotiate. Like I would give some of my commission, but I'm already having
a referral.
I'm already having to pay a referral on it, so I can't go any lower.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I never even really asked you for that. Let's just get this figured out. I'm not even going after your commission.
And if there's disclosure, and say a consumer is going after the commission, if there's disclosure around the referral, they can say, hey, listen, I want you and the referring agent both to reduce by 20% to make this deal work. Now, whether they all agree to do that or not is one thing, but at least the consumer has full awareness over the dollars because it is their transaction. Right. It is not the agent's transaction. It's the consumer's transaction. That is something we've got to keep in the front of our mind.
I do think, though, that, I mean, I feel like I'd be happy. I want you to get your split since you helped me.
And I'd be happy to make this a disclosure. We probably should be more conscious of the referrals that we do.
So do you think like when we're meeting like a Zillow buyer, we should disclose to them, hey, like, so nice to meet you, just so you know? I mean, is that our responsibility, or is that Zillow? Like, whose responsibility is it to disclose at that point? The agent that's getting?
In that situation, I think it's Zillow's responsibility because they went to Zillow, the brand, to start with. They did not go to Nicole White to start with in that instance. They went to Zillow, the brand.
So I guess that's the question too. Is it up to, like, I'm referring this to you, so is it up to me to disclose to that consumer, or is it up to the person that's receiving the referral to then disclose,
listen,
hey, I'm getting 25% knocked off of my commission to go to your buddy?
Think about all the stupid, silly forms we have people sign. Oh, I need to disclose that we
own
this
affiliated
LLC. We own this affiliate.
We have a mortgage company.
This is way more important to me, and 51% of consumers agree. This is more important information that the consumer should have at their fingertips.
I wonder what would happen though, because if Zillow has to disclose and then the consumer says, no, I don't want that to happen, then what happens to that lead for Zillow? Yeah. Maybe they don't want to do it yet because they're afraid of what could happen.
Of course not.
Anyway.
It's a very interesting question. I'd love your feedback.
Speaking of which.
In the, Zillow, pick it up. I'd love your feedback in the comments on yes or no. Should agents be forced to disclose referral fees to consumers? I don't think this is a racket at all. 51% of consumers agree with me. Nicole agrees
I agree.
As well.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
All right, racket number 2. Another Inman article. These 10 housing markets are poised for serious trouble. A new study by Go Banking Rates looks at the top U.S. cities most likely to see a poor housing market in the near future.
Is this because of COVID or just in general?
Yeah, so as the coronavirus pandemic drags on, different parts of the country are feeling the brunt of the shutdowns and economic disruptions very differently. Like for us in the rural part, the shoreline part of Connecticut, we've kind of won. Right? There's been a lot of buyers over here.
Now, we've won.
For right now.
We're winning right now.
Some suburban enclaves are seeing sky-high demand, so suburban and even urban, rural, which we've talked about at length here on the show. They're seeing high demand, while others have seen home values drop dramatically just a few months into the pandemic. The new study by Go Banking Rate looks at the top 50 American cities most likely to see a poor housing market in the near future. We're going to talk about the top 10 here. So there's some small cities with long struggling economies, while other affluent California enclaves that saw record high home values spike over the last decade are now feeling the crash of such unparalleled growth. A lot of California in this top 10.
Well, I mean,
not surprising
no,
either.
not at all. I mean, that was a whole bubble already.
Jackson, Mississippi is one. Longview, Texas. The reason why this is interesting to us is there's a Connecticut city on this top 10 list. Longview, Texas, Redwood City, California, San Mateo, California, Fremont, California, Loretto, Texas, Santa Rosa, California, Lake Charles, Louisiana. They got problems right now with the storm. So
man, that whole South is getting slammed though.
Stamford, Connecticut, and Albany, Georgia. So 4 of the top 10 were California. Stamford, Connecticut, which particularly is interesting to us, while home to a number of high-paid tech professionals, the Connecticut city of Stamford regularly makes a list of cities with a poor economic outlook due to a housing market disproportionate with the entire population. At $579,000 home prices average, they're down almost 1% from last year and 1.18% from a year ago. 1 in every 5,200 homes.
Yeah, we're talking about $7,000 off of what your house was worth over 24 months ago.
Yeah.
I mean, that's interesting.
That is very interesting. And so this is who they use this Go Banking Rate study. It's a Veronica.
Ooh, do it.
Bondarenko article here on Inman. You know what's more interesting than this, Nicole, is we'll also post this, is a Market Watch article. Opinion, the COVID-19 lockdown is squeezing real estate from all sides and threatens to burst the housing and mortgage bubble. So this one talks about...
Are you feeling like we're in a bubble?
Well, when you start reading this article, you might get convinced that we are. Here's why. Because
of our percentage of growth in the short amount of time?
Well, there's this huge growth and median home values, certainly in our market, have gone up.
Yeah,
They've
I think
quickly.
anytime it goes over 5%.
Yeah, and we're talking over 12 in a short period of time. So,
but it's interesting because I do feel like we've had this discussion. Like the interest rates are so much lower where it's like...
So interest rates are low, home values are skyrocketing, but, and we talked about this recently, delinquency rate for FHA insured homes, the total USA, 17%. So this is not people in forbearance. These are people delinquent.
I read an article. I was actually going to send it to you. They said there's 1 million delinquent homeowners that are not in forbearance.
They're not even in forbearance.
They haven't even gone to their mortgage company. Maybe
correct.
They're worried. Maybe they're scared.
Right.
Maybe they don't want to go into forbearance because they haven't been properly educated.
They don't even know about it. And if you call the bank, by the way, the bank will tell you it's not an option. You have to know your rights. You have to really be savvy about getting the forbearance.
Well, and what's interesting too is that this is all over. Like the first round is up and expiring in October.
Yeah, so this is why they think this thing's about to burst, because the total U.S. has for FHA insured homes, FHA mortgages, 17% delinquent rate, almost 1 out of 5.
So you think they're going to start selling?
New York City, 27.2, more than 1 out of 4 FHA properties in New York City are delinquent, Nicole. Delinquent. Miami, 24.4%. So that's 1 out of 4. Fort Lauderdale, 1 out of 4. New Orleans, basically 1 out of 4. DC, 22%. Chicago, 22%. Houston, 21.6%. Atlanta, 21%. Philly, 20%. Long Island, 27.8%. Top in the list.
That? DC, New Jersey. 40 was more than 40%. So you think those people are doing because they can't afford it, or because they think they're able to?
I think if you're delinquent right now, you can't make your payments.
Well, you would hope.
Because a lot of these people with the median home values rising, like we've talked about, actually have equity, and yet they're still delinquent on their home. Here's the problem. You would say, well, why don't you just sell and get your equity? Well, where do you go in this market?
Where are you going to go?
Where are you going to go?
Now your credit is shot because you can't get a rent.
Can't get a rental, you're stuck. And so they're just like, you know what? I'll wait out the year, see if anything changes for me, kind of rolling the dice.
Right.
And then if this year ends and the dice don't land on Yahtzee, would it be Yahtzee? Would it be CeeLo? CeeLo, you ever play CeeLo? Sam knows CeeLo.
CeeLo? It's not a singer?
No, could be. If it doesn't land good for you, then now you're out of a job. You're going to be out of your house soon, and you're going to see a lot of foreclosures potentially.
Well, I mean, that was obvious.
2021.
Potentially. I still don't think that 2021 is going to be the year. I think that we're in this for a whole nother potentially, 9 months, 9 to 12 months, I think.
In what?
In the life that we're living currently.
Yeah, but eventually they cannot extend.
Maybe not.
These types of foreclosure.
They are though.
Till January 1, the foreclosures open back up.
Well, I
they're going to extend again?
Yes.
Here we go. Oh my goodness.
You don't think they are?
That's a whole nother can of worms.
If the government is telling you that you can't go and work and produce income, then there has to be something on the other end.
I get it. My point is you cannot continue. Eventually.
You shouldn't continue.
The
word is shouldn't. We shouldn't continue. But what are they? What's the other? Well,
there's another quote here, and it's somewhere in this. Here it is. Sooner or later, homeowners in this frothy U.S. housing market must pay the piper.
Absolutely.
So if you want to say, okay, extend another 6 months, these foreclosures.
I'm not saying that I want to.
Then it's 2022. We're going to pay the piper. We're going to pay the piper.
Yes, yeah. I'm not saying that we're not. I just don't think it's going to be next year.
Here's the point, and I don't know anything. Really outside of maybe a little bit in Stanford, which isn't even our market in Connecticut, but on these 10 specific markets, here's the reminder on this conversation. Real estate is very local. Okay. So understanding your market as a real estate professional better than anybody is going to put you in the position to actually educate your clients on what's happening in your market, because what's happening in San Mateo isn't necessarily what's going to happen here in Connecticut on the shoreline. And we didn't have a decade of spikes here. So we
never did.
We may be good. We may not be. Continuing every single week to look at the data. Our MLS does a great job with a app called InfoSparks. There's a lot of graphs, and you can really dissect what's happening in your individual market. I'd encourage everybody, now more than ever, every single week, get your fingers dirty on the data of what's actually happening in your local market. It's a local business.
Absolutely.
All right. Marketeer of the week, Realtor Mag.
TikTok.
Realtor Mag.
Got it. We had to. Come on. We had to use the buzzword.
I don't know. I think TikTok is here to stay. It looks like Oracle and Walmart put together some deal that appeases.
Yeah. Did you hear though? I think the president is making them pay like billions of dollars
$5 billion
to go towards.
Anyways,
what is it going towards? Hunger or food?
No. Educating our youth.
Even better. Well, that was the right choice.
Which I think, I guess that makes sense because there's a lot of our youth on TikTok, but we know like with every other social media app, this is going to age up. You're starting to see that now with TikTok where it's aging up. You got 30, 40, 50-year-olds, mothers, fathers using TikTok.
Are you TikToking? Are you uploading and TikToking?
I stopped TikToking. I was TikToking. I think I was probably a little early for the real estate industry. You're never too early. And I've stopped because, and I'll give you my 2 cents on why I stopped. But this is the Marketeer of the Week. It's something to think about in your marketing.
I actually thought that these 4 were really good for people that maybe don't want, and that was why I asked you if you are on TikTok, because I think this is really helpful. Because even if you're not on TikTok, I think. Well, I guess we'll read on. Yeah. And
so here are the 4 business reasons for joining TikTok, according to this Realtor Mag article. Number 1, claim your profile. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I didn't even have when I first joined TikTok, they wouldn't release my name at Byron Lazine, which is where you can find me on TikTok. And
you needed a number, right? Didn't it make you have a number?
And then I kept trying to change it. And then after like about a month, I did get my username. So at least storing your username, I think, does make sense.
Right.
Claiming your profile.
Yep.
So, and that's what they say here. Even if you don't plan on using the app, set it up because it may become the next Instagram and you're now forced into using it for business.
Right. Well, it leads into, React.
Number two, React. You can have TikTok check your contacts to let you know who's using the app. So you can see kind of what's happening in your local market. Maybe somebody's doing something really special on TikTok. And maybe you want to interview them on your podcast, or maybe they're just doing a great job supporting the local community and you want to highlight them in your blog. There could be a lot of different ways to react just outside of the app on what's happening in your community.
Well, I do think that they're saying that it's important for you to react to some of these videos just so that they then obviously see your name if you're commenting. I mean, I love when people leave comments on my posts. It makes you feel good.
Number 3, and so that's kind of the direct is react within the app. But I think there's a lot of ways for you, if somebody's doing a good job in your community, to react on the platforms that you have. Number 3, repurpose your videos. I think TikTok actually does have the best feature of any app to share directly into whether it's Snapchat or Instagram stories or Facebook stories.
It is so time consuming. I think it took me almost remember when I was doing the lacrosse videos for my husband? Oh my goodness. It took me almost 3 days to master the clips and then the edit and then the song.
Yeah. Well, you were learning the editing skills.
And then it was like twirling here.
Sam's laughing because Sam knows how long it takes to edit,
but the TikTok, they make it look so easy. These young children.
Well, they don't have like children that they're watching in a job, and
it was like my brain wanted to swell. But
number 4, be ahead of the curve. You always want to stay ahead of the curve and be able to show your, especially sellers, if you're a listing agent, another avenue outside of Zillow of how you're going to get attention onto your listings and your inventory. Listen, my 2 cents. You should not be focusing. If you take all your marketing plan, your marketing time, everything you're doing in marketing, you shouldn't be focusing more than maybe 2-3% of your time in your marketing efforts and campaigns on the app of TikTok. Still today, most of your consumers, if you're selling real estate, are going to be living on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and reading your blogs and that kind of stuff. I've said it on the 5 a.m. call recently. Radio right now, if I'm running ads here in September of 2020, I'm running ads on the radio. I'm running ads on talk radio. Why? There's something coming up in November that people are tuning in and listening to. I want to run ads in the room where people are paying attention. And the people that are buying homes today in quarter 4 of 2020, they're not spending all their time on TikTok. They're consuming information on whether it's like we're advertising right now on the for 66 High Street new development here. We're advertising in the Wall Street Journal.
Right.
Our end consumer for $1 million+ unit is more likely to be Wall Street Journal than TikTok.
I mean, I think TikTok's just fun. I mean, I lose TikTok just makes me happy.
Yeah,
I feel like it just makes me happy.
It's a great time waster. It's a great outlet for
wonderful time waster.
It's
the best time waster.
It's insane. That being said, you should, as a marketer, as a business operator, you should pay attention to it. You should probably dabble with it a little bit, but we're talking less than 5% of what you do. If you're a real estate professional selling real estate in any market in America, unless you're like, selling homes to these TikTokers in California, they're all buying in California. So that'd be like, I guess the one market that'd be an outlier. But generally speaking, less than 5% of your time on TikTok. Be aware of it, though.
There it is.
And it seems like it's here to stay, even though there's this new one now. What is it called? Triller.
Yeah, you're right. Triller. Yeah, you couldn't call it Thriller. I bet you that's all trademarked.
A little fun fact, too. The most famous TikToker, Charlie D'Amelio.
You know exactly who she is.
I know exactly who she is.
You're making it sound like
I know exactly who she is. I don't know how to say her last name. D'Amelio, I think. She's Connecticut.
She is. She's actually right next to Stamford, so it'll be interesting.
Very
She's out
close
in
to
Norwalk.
Stanford.
Yeah.
I think she spends most of her time in California now. That's what happens when you get famous. You go to Cali.
You just like, hey, I'm going to fly to California?
Oh, I think she has a place there.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
you know a lot about her.
Yeah. Charlie, 88 million followers as of this video. So, all right. In the comments, if you're using TikTok, let us know. Very much more interested in that first racket. Should agents be forced to disclose their referral fees to consumers? Love your 2 cents on that one.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Nicole?
Yep.
Nice t-shirt, by the way.
Hey, thanks.
Little package store.
Spencer and Lynn, Oh, I have my corkscrew on the back.
Killing
it today.
All right, guys. Keep it real.
See ya.